the Israelis have won in Kentucky, and so now you will. They'll just rob more money from you. They will. There's no question they will rob you. There's no question every Republican will vote for that robbery, and a great majority of the Democrats. Well, to be fair, I don't know about a great majority. They might play games. Oh, they have enough votes? Oh, we'll pretend to be against it. I don't know. But a good number of Democrats, both publicly and privately, will love that robbery, and they will participate in that robbery. They'll come to your house, they'll take your money, they'll slap you across the face, they say, shut up, anti-Semite, give me your money, you don't deserve it, Israel deserves it, okay? And if you dare object, they'll get you fired, and the terrorist network they have inside America will come to crush you. All right, Operation Joy. Okay, so.
Nonetheless, we persist.
Nonetheless, we persist, okay. So Bassem, the part of the reason we do Operation Joy is because, look, we're trying to do positive change in the world.
Okay.
And so that's a rough business, okay? And not a lot of moments of joy. Sometimes there are, but oftentimes there are more moments like this, right?
Look, I mean, we have our gun rights. The Palestinians in the West Bank don't have guns. They don't have gun rights. We have gun rights.
We are inches away. American citizens are inches away from being called terrorists if we don't kneel to Israel. Okay.
We have our gun rights.
Okay, anyways, okay, I do see the point of the Second Amendment now. Okay, just makes it a little harder to take everything you own if you wind up buying all of American media and all of the American government, which is where we are. So don't tell me all of American media isn't bought if they don't accurately report that Israel just bought that seat in the 4th District of Kentucky. There's no question about that. None, zero. And every reporter will lie to you. Watch, every reporter will lie to you and say Israel did not buy that seat.
So can I ask I have to ask Bassem something, because you kind of see the juxtaposition between Bassem's like just whole demeanor versus Cenk's. And I always wonder, how do you guys stay calm?
Well, we come from the Middle East. We're used to that kind of propaganda, and it's like, oh, that sounds familiar. And it's kind of, and when because I remember when I was coming here and I was noticing the signs, and I was tell people like, wait, this doesn't sound like, that doesn't look right. It's like, oh, you're crazy. No, America is a free country. It's like, okay, and I would shut down. And then when I see that unfold in front of me, it's like, I kind of like keep it. I'm not calm because like I'm happy about it. I'm just calm because I got desensitized about it all my life, and I know how propaganda works. And now I see, all right, so this is happening now. So it's not like calm because maybe because also I go home and I cry on my pillow. But otherwise,
I mean, I do that too. But like one of the things that I'm trying really, really hard to do is remain composed, not remain because I failed almost every time, but I want to be composed. I don't want to let them bait me into rage, but it's so hard. It's so hard. Because when you see injustice and that injustice is being rubbed in your face or you're being gaslit about it, how do you stay calm? And every single time I'm on one of those panels and there's someone from the Middle East or a Palestinian or someone from Lebanon on the panel, super calm, and I'm just like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, you know what I mean?
We used to that. It's kind of like, hey guys, like welcome to our club. Like now you know how it feels.
No, that's definitely it. Because I grew up in America, so I got sold a dream, right? Yeah. And so when you find out it's not true, it
makes you angry.
It's more heartbreaking. It makes you angrier, and you have the zeal of the converted.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so that's why that no one in this country, not left wing, not right wing, not any wing, hates mainstream media more than I do.
Oh, we believe it.
Oh my God, I hate them with every fiber of my being. My God, they got me to believe things that were preposterous for decades.
Same.
And I'm so angry at those effing liars. Disgusting, disgusting liars.
And now you recognize the ways they lie, like how the reporters get super excited because they think they're getting an exclusive or a scoop. And then they just regurgitate something that a government official who has an agenda is telling them or leaking to them. They don't question, hey, what is the agenda? Why are they leaking this to me?
It just hurts because at least when you are in a Middle Eastern country, you know that you're being controlled by your government. It hurts more when you think you came to the free country of the world, the free country, and then you're controlled by another country. And then I say, it's like, a lot of people escape from their countries to the Middle East. They come here to find out that we're still controlled by another country in the Middle East. It's like, what?
So how do you escape
it? It's like full circle. It's like, guys, I thought I was with the winning side. It's like, oh, we're still Israel's bitches.
No, that's exactly right. Because my family made a choice to come here because we believed in freedom and we thought we were going to be free. And we come here, and instead of being ruled by Erdogan, now we're ruled by Netanyahu. What the hell is this?
Don't worry, it might be Naftali Bennett soon.
Yeah, and by the way, they'll all, and I guarantee you, I'll tell you ahead of time, stone cold prediction: if Naftali Bennett wins, all of American media will pretend that Israel's reformed and that they didn't do anything wrong. Oh, Netanyahu's gone. The whole problem was Netanyahu.
It's just the government.
Just
the government.
And Naftali Bennett has the same exact ideology and policies, and in fact is so crazed he's threatening to attack a NATO country, Turkey. But they'll all pretend he's an angel. A total angel, and all the problems are fixed. And the only problem left are the effing anti-Semites who should all be destroyed. Their lives should be crushed into little pieces. But by the way, we're the good guys and we're objective. Okay, all right, okay, I'm done with it.
Joy, let's do joy.
Okay, we do Operation Joy because of two reasons. One, if you want positive change in the world, do positive change in your life, right? Be more joyous in your life, right? And number two is, if you're depressed, you're not gonna go out and fight anybody, okay? Whereas if you've got hope and optimism and joy in your life, you have enough energy to get back up and try to actually fight for good in this world and righteousness in this world. And we are never going to do what they do, okay? If we win, we're not gonna discriminate against Jewish people. We're not gonna do any of those evil things because we're not evil like the Israeli government and the American media who helps the evil Israeli government. Okay, so now, cut, go to Operation Joy. Finish TYT fan writes in, my joy is watching Operation Joy and seeing Anna's ice cold walls melt in real time. As someone who's equally pessimistic and negative about everything, it warms my heart to see her have a little fun and relax. Don't get me wrong, I love Anna no matter what. Thank you guys for everything.
Oh, thank you, Finnish fan.
Yeah, that does happen in Operation Joy.
That happens throughout the course of the show. Like right before we go live is probably when I'm the most stressed out. And Jane comes in, he's a happy-go-lucky, he tries to crack a joke with me, I usually slap it down. But by the end of the show, I'm in a good mood.
I have something that might bring you joy. I have a message from David Spivak, you actually have interviewed him on Friday. I remember when I told you I went to New York and I interviewed him and I said you were like a fundamental reason for him to change his views. He's a Jewish friend of mine in New York. His father fought in the IDF against Egypt in 1967. He's been disowned by his family.
I know,
And he just like, as we're sitting here, just sent me a message like, say, tell Shenka and Anna that I say hi.
Oh my gosh, he should know that every once in a while I go on to his page. Like when I feel
he's lovely.
Overwhelming despair, I'll watch his videos and just, I have to remind myself there's so many good people in the world, so many good Jews in the world who see what's happening and they're fighting back against it, even despite the fact that they're being disowned by their own family members to do the right thing. And that gives me hope.
It's very hard. They're going against your own family, your own community, to be excommunicated by everything, and you're still going strong. Just David, my friend Matt Lieb, who's like an incredible comedian. He hosts his show Bad Hasbara. Wonderful. It's just like there are so many people, and these are the people who feel that their identity is being robbed, their religion has been like taken away from them and being used as a front for the actions of the Zionists and the Israeli government.
Well, because that's true. It's demonstrably true.
Let me say two last things about that. So his social media accounts are David Says Stuff, so check it out.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Really good work.
He's wonderful.
And so I want to thank all the wonderful, open-hearted, beautiful-hearted Jewish Americans who are in the fight. So we talk about them all the time, but Robert Greenwald, Glenn Greenwald, Dave Smith, a million others, right? And so they're Gideon Levy in Israel is a godsend, an angel, right?
David Sachs. Wait,
not David Sachs.
Sorry, not David Sachs. Wrong Sachs.
Jeffrey Sachs.
Jeffrey Sachs. Oh my gosh, I apologize. I love Jeffrey Sachs.
Avi Schleim. Avi Schleim.
And on and on and on, right? There's so many, right? So we love you guys. Thank you for being wonderful people and standing up for all of humanity and showing the best side of Judaism. And I would say to all the Jewish Americans that are in the middle now, okay? Like if you're a hardcore Israel first person, you're lost. You're in a cult and we're never gonna get you out. I mean, it'll take years, maybe decades to get you to go, oh, it turns out not everyone else in the world is guilty. That maybe we could also make mistakes, and that won't occur to you for like 20 years. You'll think the whole world is anti-Semitic, and that you're like, oh, they're about to kill us. Oh, good thing Israel murdered them first. So those guys are hopeless. But there's a ton in the middle that are good, wonderful people. They just got brainwashed. And guys, just like me, I got brainwashed by Turkish propaganda, saying the Armenian genocide didn't happen. We moved them to help them. They were hiding behind human shields. We were doing self-defense. The same exact thing as what happened in Gaza. And so I know I have been the victim of Turkish propaganda and American media propaganda. And if you're a Jewish American, no one has been the victim of overwhelming Israeli propaganda more than you. Yeah. And David, when he was on the show, talked about when we went to Temple, the first thing that we did was sing the Israeli national anthem. And he's like, wait, why? We're in America. Why are we singing the Israeli national anthem? It's not like it's a religious song, it's a nationalist song, right? So you don't know, but you were taught that everyone hates Jews and you're all about to die. That's not true. That's not true. They terrorized you for no reason. Well, for a good reason, so that you'll aid and abet Israel. And who's the #1 source of money for Israel? Jewish Americans. And Jewish Americans have been taught, you're all gonna die. You're all gonna die. You better send your money to Israel right away. And you better make sure you defeat anyone who's opposed to Israel in America.
Yeah.
Right? All right, anyways, so please wake up and join your fellow Americans who are trying to do the right thing. I know you're moral enough to do it. TO1790 says, the joy that I have now is what happened in the Friday show, The Damage Report, when I made Brett Ehrlich crack up laughing with my joke on Retadicans. I don't know how to say that. Anyway, I find joy in people experiencing joy that I may have something to do with. I could have been a stand-up comedian if I wasn't so much of an introvert with shyness and stage fright getting in my way. Not being much of a people person is a hindrance. That's just something I would like to share with the TYT community. So Bassem, you were a doctor and then you became a stand-up comic. So he's talking about being an introvert and shy and stage fright. Did you have stage fright?
No.
That's so interesting.
No, I had for some reason I didn't. For some reason I was just like, actually I was an extrovert, but I hated medicine so much that I needed something else to get me out. So I went into salsa, I went into dancing. I want to have everything to get me away from medicine, and I was in that trap for 20 years. And then the Egyptian Revolution came and kind of released me from that prison. So I went and I did like the content creation, and from that I went into comedy. And I sucked in the beginning, big time. Like doing stand-up, especially in my second language when I came here.
Oh, I mean,
and it took me 2, 3, 4 years, and then it became better. But you just have to accept the humiliation of failing in public.
Comedians are incredibly brave, right? Because regardless of how good you are,
very humiliating, very humbling. You need to you leave your ego out before you go. It's just like
Did you watch the Kevin Hart roast?
Oh yeah, I did.
What did you think?
No, I just love one part when the Shane Gillis shamed Chelsea handler when he said like she's a Zionist. That's not a good or bad thing.
That was pretty hilarious.
But speaking of that baby.
By the way, like, is she like, you know?
No, she's a crazy.
No, not the Zionist thing. I knew she was a Zionist, but like, there was a running joke about her, like, being, a little loose with the men, like throughout the entire night. And I was like, is that a thing? What is that?
But that could be a roast. I mean, the whole if you watch every single roast, if there's like a female comedian, the same thing.
I thought it was the whole thing was hilarious. Like I know there were controversial parts, but it's comedy. They always go for
like being like the women being free. That's a very common theme in the roasts.
Yeah.
So I remember when I first became a radio talk show host, and I went and did a show in Boston, and there was no producer with me. There was no nothing. There was just a guy that had a weekend producer there taking calls. And it was 3 hours, and I was dying out there, right? And like I was doing a little bit of joking around, a little bit of serious, and nobody's like people are calling in, but the producer's not letting them through. So they must hate me, right?
Oh no.
So I start to sweat, and I remember at the end of that show, I felt so bad. Like I wanted to go bury myself.
Oh yeah.
So how do you get past that? Like if you said the first couple were really like
every time it happens, the best thing you do is to go on stage again. is to go on stage again. To go on stage again, because if you cannot go past the humiliation, if you cannot go past the bombing, it's not for you. Because it's and I remember at the time, this is the time where I left Egypt, and I came here and I was the biggest star in the Middle East, and I came here, I'm a nobody. So I would go into comedy clubs, and my fans, Egyptian and Arab fan, would come to the shows like, "Oh, that's beautiful. We don't from Turkish," and I would bomb so bad, and I see the empathy and the disappointment. It's like, "Oh, Bassem, in 6 months he's gonna be driving an Uber. He's done." And I saw that, and they would come, and they just like, "Oh, take it easy."
This is when you were still in Egypt.
No. This is when I left and I started the stand-up comedy here.
God,
in a second language, and it was like the terrible 3-4. And I would come out like, God bless my wife. She went through a lot. Seeing me coming back, it's like, I did so bad. Oh my God.
I mean, you were a heart surgeon for 20 years. I'd give you a pass.
Yeah.
Like,
so for 3-4 years, I suffered. It's everything. Like I went back. It's like what I'm doing with my life. I would go cry myself. I cry myself to sleep. It was the most terrible, most humbling, most humiliating part of my life, and I'm glad I passed that. But it's still there because no matter how good you are as a comedian, you could be the best comedian, and you can bomb so hard. And if you then get through this, go on stage again, it's not for you.
Do you have a favorite comedian?
I have many. I have many. I like Jim Jeffries. I like Dave Chappelle. I like Andrew Schultz. There's so many. I watch so many of them, but I don't watch to laugh. I watch to learn.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know how hard it is in a second language, because when I go to Turkey, I can speak, but I can't joke.
Yeah.
Because it's a different,
Cadence?
Rhythm, cadence.
Yeah.
So sometimes, and by the way, this is very interesting. Many of the jokes that I bombed at, I kept them, and when I was better, they killed. Because I had the words, but I didn't have the cadence or the rhythm. It's like a completely different. You have to reprogram your brain.
Yeah.
To know where is the enunciation, where do you stress on the word, where do you the pauses, the timing. It's a completely different language.
Yeah.
It's a third language.
Yeah. Comedic timing is everything.
Yeah.
No, but as a Muslim, it makes sense that you bomb sometimes. So
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay,
That's good.
right.
Yeah, you should try comedy.
Should I? No, I don't think so. But look, part of why I asked all those questions is because part of how you get the joy is through getting stuff like that, through stuff like that. So it's not supposed to be easy, right? Especially when you're trying something new or you're trying something hard like comedy, right? Yeah. And so what I want you to do is when you're trying something new or hard, just bake into the pie that it's going to be rough. Yeah. Right? And that it's gonna take a while, and you're gonna go through some pain, and you're gonna be embarrassed from time to time. Because I wouldn't have made it if I'd stopped after that radio show or after every bad show I did, right? So I had to just suck it up and just gather up enough courage and do one more and do one more. And so
I can't imagine how tough that was, Cenk. I mean, I wouldn't know. I was really good from the very beginning.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. That's why we found
perfect.
No, actually, it's hilarious to go back and watch videos from like 07, 08, when I was the entertainment girl, like doing entertainment stories on the show. I was so shy, so sheepish, so meek, if you can believe it.
Now you're a monster.
Now I'm a monster.
Like you're a beast.
I took over.
You're a beast.
Indeed. All right. So now let's go to Brad O'Donnell. He's a councilman. Oh, interesting. Reposting my comment here, originally left on the latest Op Joy video. Someone asked me about being competitive, and I thought I'd share regarding enjoying competition. When I was younger, I was fiercely competitive to the point of flying into fits of rage when I would lose, even if the loss was in something completely inconsequential. This, of course, leads to no one wanting to play or do anything with you because you're a prick. So I changed my mindset. Even if you lose the Super Bowl, stop and consider, dude, you're such an amazing athlete that you made it to the Super Bowl. And moreover, sure you lost, but you lost to the Super Bowl champions. How many people get to say they've tackled a Super Bowl ring holder and gave him a run for his money? By accepting that there is honor in graceful defeat, it actually made me a better competitor. Instead of seeing my opponent as some kind of machine or object I had to take down, I instead saw them for what they were, a complex human being with strengths and weaknesses just like me. So what I got out of that, guys, is I'm super competitive too. Like I am over the top competitive. And when I was a kid, I was a prick just like you in the games. Like you were playing Risk, Monopoly. I'm gonna argue every rule. I'm gonna try to get every advantage. And then I realized at some point, like when I was a grown up, like way too late, but I realized, hey, you know what? Maybe the objective here isn't to win the game, but for everyone to have fun. So I'm actually not winning at the actual objective of having fun. Yep. Instead, I'm ruining the fun by going, yeah, according to the bylaws of Monopoly 13ABC, I win, you lose. Like, just bring it down.
The real win is in participating.
Yeah, well.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know, it sounds kind of cheesy, but I hear you. Okay, all right, so we go to Buttery Goodness. You had me at Buttery Goodness. Hey guys, longtime listener, first time commenter, coming straight out of Cleveland, Ohio. I just want to tell you all that I've officially graduated from Cleveland State University with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. I don't have a job lined up just yet, but I'm currently working on it, trying to get something local, but if I gotta move, then it is what it is. The best part of it all, though, is that I got through 5 years in college with zero debt to my name.
Hell yeah.
Utilizing scholarships and Pell Grants to pay for my full tuition while not paying for room and board since I live about 10 to 15 minutes away from school. Graduating also frees me up to put more time into music creation as well. I produce, write, rap, and sometimes sing my own material with the goal of helping the world and making the world a better place through my music. I don't know how far I'll get with, especially since I talk about a specific you-know-who country.
And it's not Papua New Guinea.
By the way, I don't know, maybe try comedy instead of music. But regardless, I hope that whatever I end up doing professionally in the next few years will be able to help change the world for the better and help bring joy to all that enjoy my art. Love you guys. Hope you have a good, wonderful weekend.
Buttery goodness. You're one of the people who gives me hope. I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now let me rob that of you. Okay, because you said you write about a certain country and you don't know if that'll, what that'll lead to. One of the last songs that Michael Jackson wrote was Palestine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 6 months after that?
He mysteriously died.
No. 6 months after that, all of the allegations of the child molestation.
Sorry.
That was the first thing that happened. Yep.
Yeah. And Sony never released it because it's not like Michael Jackson songs made money. And it's not like companies are interested in money. The one Michael Jackson song that was never released was about Palestine.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that is a wild, wild coincidence. I mean, he could have wrote about New Zealand and they probably wouldn't have released that either.
Yeah.
Probably, right? How long have they been in charge? How long has Israel been in charge of this country?
We knew, yeah.
Because you can't even you can't do anything creative that supports the Palestinian people, and it's not against the Israelis. It's just saying, hey, the Palestinians are human. They're like, you're not allowed to do that.
They've been in charge since JFK.
That is one theory. All right, the One True Coffee Dragon. Sorry, the Operation Joy is supposed to be politics free, but it's a crazy day.
Yeah, don't let Israel infiltrate Operation Joy too.
Yeah, I hear you. We all got to go. So
You're messing with my Zen thing, man.
All right, last one. We got to go. Jazzy Jenna wrote in, I'm skipping ahead to 9. My husband and I have been working tirelessly on a 7-year-long passion project to renovate a historic building in our small town downtown. It's been a labor of love with many twists and turns, and I'm happy to report that construction begins on Monday to renovate the building into home of our newly formed nonprofit organization called Helping Us Build, or HUB for short.
Oh my God, you got to send pictures.
No, they have one already.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. The space will be a community hub that features a venue to host various events and gatherings, as well as makers space for artists and craftspersons of all kinds to come and hone their skills. In this challenging political climate, we're choosing to find ways to create our own joy through collaboration, connection, and creativity. And soon many members of our community will be able to join us in doing the same. So they don't have it set up yet, but they do have a picture of the building that they bought and are renovating.
That's so cool.
Well, it is cool, and that's a cool old building. So Jazzy Jenna, if you let us know where it is, you could just email us at hope@tyt.com. Maybe we could stop by one day. When you've got it open, we'd come by and I could sing for you guys. No, but I'll tell you what, Anna and Bassem could dance.
That's true.
Yeah.
Bassem is a freaking dancer.
Yeah, I dance salsa. As a matter of fact, can I share something?
Do you shuffle too?
No, I shuffle a little bit.
Oh my God, you're the best person on the planet.
I shuffle. I do the running man and do the sides, whatever.
Okay, we'll talk.
But this Sunday there is something called Libération Collective, It is an event for Cuba and Palestine, and it's going to be a mixture with Arabs and Latinos. It's going to be on my Instagram. It's in Inglewood, and it's going to be like a night of music, comedy. I'm gonna give a boring, keynote speech, but at the end is gonna be a surprise. I'm not gonna say there, but maybe it has something to do with salsa.
Oh,
I can't wait.
Interesting. So where is it and when is it again?
It's in Inglewood.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
On Sunday, okay.
Yes.
So what's really cool about LA is that a lot of the events I've gone to for Palestine are half Latino.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean,
brown people of the world are uniting.
Yes.
I do. What I love about LA, and the reason why, despite the ups and downs in this city, I've always stayed here and I want to stay here, is it's like there's so many cultures represented here, and I love that. Like, I love the diversity. I love that you go to Glendale, there's a sizable Cuban population and Armenian population, as we all know, right? There's Little Armenia in Hollywood, Little Tokyo, like. I love it. I love it. That's what makes this city great. It's the people of the city that make it great. The government F's it up, but everyone else makes it better.
Yeah. I just shared the post about the event on my Instagram, and I hope you guys to see you. They're amazing comedians. I'm not gonna do comedy, but again, a boring speech, but it will be very not so boring. It's gonna have some surprises.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's gonna be boring. If anything, it might be fiery. So check that out. Check out Bassem on all social media, so you can see where he's doing his stand-up and all the other amazing things he's doing. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Young Turks. Anna, I'm so happy.
I know. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make you come back. So
yes.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.